That group started playing games with each other. Despite the fact that Chad and Lachlan were still off the front, they started doing a lot more looking at each other, waiting for somebody to make a move, than actually riding to make the catch. And this gave Matt Beers and I a chance to catch back on. And sure enough, we made contact with the chase group with about 6 miles in the race remaining. Welcome back to the channel. This video is fueled by the feed.
U.S. stocks reach record highs. This earnings season gives you a potential opportunity. Lower fees for the smarter you. Zero.
This is the royal burial ground at Sutton Hill. 1400 years ago, the great king was laid to rest under this very mound in a vast wooden ship surrounded by lavish golden treasure. Its incredible discovery opened a door to a dark age world of warrior kingdoms never before encountered. It would turn on its head our understanding and preconceptions of the Anglo-Saxons. Since its excavation on the eve of the Second World War, the treasures have been conserved and reconstructed. All that is, except for the ship itself, all 88 feet of it. But for the last 4 years, the Sutton Hoo Ships Company have been attempting the seemingly impossible task of reconstructing it, plank by plank, rivet by rivet. The original ship rotted away, leaving only a ghostly imprint in the soil. Tiny clues left behind helped the team work out the detail, how it was constructed, what it looked like, how did it move on water, and how did it reach its final resting place. But they aren't stopping there. The team want to row it on rivers, sail it on seas, and Time Team will be with them throughout this epic voyage. The site at Sutton Hoo sits on a terrace high on the eastern bank of the River Deben, overlooking the nearby town of Woodbridge. Only 8 miles from the Suffolk coast, Woodbridge has a long maritime history associated with shipbuilding and rope making. Even the great English explorer Sir Francis Drake had ships built here in the 16th century. It's now also home to the Long Shed, where a team of dedicated professionals, volunteers and enthusiasts have been busily working on this ambitious £1.5 million reconstruction.
Yeah, it's a challenge, but it's a huge opportunity. It's the opportunity of a lifetime, really. This doesn't come around every day.
A lot of hard work, a lot of forging, and quite an honour actually.
Can you imagine, but nothing like when you see it from
The skin of the ship was that fragile, you could just stick your finger through it. So there's no wood there, you've literally just an impression in the sand. It's a ghost ship.
Planning and design of the ship took several years to research and perfect, with full-scale reconstruction finally starting back in summer 2019. But it wasn't until 2021 that the first ceremonial nail was hammered into the backbone sections.
I never feel like I'm actually building a ship until I've joined the first people today.
This is a very important road. It isn't simply just science, archaeology, science with a sort of turbocharged imagination. By making something, you learn how it's made. This is the largest artifact in the Sutton Hoo Mound 1 burial. It needs restoring.
And this is how they're going to do it. The build begins with the backbone of the ship. It's made up from 5 individual sections: a shallow keel, 2 extensions or underlouts attached to one at each end, and beyond those, a stem and stern post all held together by wooden tree nails. rows of planking, each overlapping the one below. Each of these planks is held in place by iron nails and diamond-shaped groves, coupling together to form a rivet. The shell will be built to the 5th strength. Then the lower sections of the 26 frames will be inserted afterwards. The remaining straights will be added all the way up to the shear straight and gunnel, where up to 20 pairs of tholes sit. The completion deadline for the ship hitting the water is spring 2025. Time is ticking. In the long shed, the team have constructed a softwood template known as a mould. It looks something like a ship, albeit a skeleton.
So all of the black frames that you can see on the ship, those are all lofted full size to these plans, and that will give the curve of the hull as we build them.
Apart from everything else, it now shows us the size of this monstrous vessel, so we can see what it's going to look like, which is really exciting.
Between 1983 and 1992, Professor Martin Carver excavated huge sections of the famous cemetery in Sutton Hoo. Interpreting the archaeology, particularly the 1939 Basil Brown discovery of the Mound 1 ship burial, has been a lifelong passion of his. And since its conception, he's been one of the main driving forces behind the ship's reconstruction.
Martin, it's going to be an enormous amount of work creating this boat, isn't it? Well, is it worth it?
Yes, definitely. And the reason it's worth it is because this is the only artefact that's been found in the celebrated Mine 1 that has never been reconstructed. So all the others have. And reconstructing it is going to give us a really imposing artefact, imposing ship, something that's to grab people's attention. And then, of course, the really big adventure begins, which will be a few years' time. The big adventure is to take it on the river and take it on the sea. And so then we'll really believe that we know what it's like to be in the 7th century.
But that adventure is still a long way off. Work on the ship progresses slowly, and there's a huge amount of research, experiments and trials to be getting on with. Here we are. Right, let's meet some of the team. Incredible smell of wood. In the depths of the long shed, I catch up with the man who's got the difficult task of making the Sutton Hoo ship a reality. Master shipwright Tim Kirk.
What information have you got in order to be able to make it properly?
This type of ship has not been built at this scale before. No one knew what it would look like. No one's rowed a ship with 40 oars like this. The primary information comes from the 1939 drawing and the photographs of that excavation. It's basically the nail data, the nail locations from 1939. It's just a huge challenge, basically, for all of us. And at the end, we know that we'll be able to raise the curtain on the dark ages a little bit more. This is really the only ship of the period in Britain. So the period is around 600, 620 AD. We know it's in the Northwest European tradition, which is clinker.
Clinker is one of the oldest and most recognisable boat building techniques, where the hull planks overlap to create a watertight shell. In larger vessels, such as the Sutton Hoo ship, shorter planks are joined end to end, creating the full length of each strake. The Sutton Hoo ship is the largest pre-Viking vessel ever found in northwest Europe. Knowing the approximate date of 620 AD, taken from the gold coins recovered in the burial chamber and the clinker tradition of the ship, means that the team can look either side of the archaeological record for other construction clues. A major source of information and inspiration have been the Needham ship from southern Denmark, dating to around 350 AD, and the later Viking Oseberg, Gokstad, and Skulderlev ships. Despite the wealth of research, there are still gaps in what Tim and the team have been able to glean from the Sutton Hoo excavation data.
We haven't got any wood, which is a bit of a problem.
So we can't detect what sort of wood it was
Well,
from what you've got around the rivet.
Yeah, they did detect that. When they x-rayed the rivets, they were able to detect the grain of oak, which is quite a specific grain pattern in the corrosion products of the nails. So we have got that. We do believe it was oak.
What other things don't you know and are going to have to surmise?
We don't know any of the details of the inside of the ship. Because there was no timber there and there's no fastening marks, a lot of these fastenings were wood, they were tree nails.
Yeah.
And they didn't show up very well at all in the sand imprint. And that's where this model at 1/5 scale and the full size model of the midship section behind it, that's where they're coming in very handy as research tools. Most projects like this are problem solving exercises. You know you'll get problems and you just have to solve the problems. And when you solve all the problems, the ship goes out and it floats.
With Vino Foam Technology, fights bacterial pack for 12 hours non-stop.
Be the first to trade U.S. stocks from Apple, Tesla, Amazon, and more with Mark.
Back at the start of the project, research focused on the outline of the famous ghost ship discovered in 1939 by Basil Brown and surveyed by the Science Museum. Brown's recording of Mound 1 was exceptional, but he also helpfully left detailed diaries outlining the finds and how he was feeling during the excavation, which give us a vivid insight into what was actually going on during the dig. For instance, Thursday the 11th of May. About midday, Jacobs, who by the way had never seen a ship before, and being for the first time engaged in excavation work, called out he had found a piece of iron, afterwards found to be a loose one at the end of the ship. I immediately stopped the work and carefully explored the area with a small trowel and uncovered 5 rivets in position on what turned out to be the extreme and prow and stern of a ship. Without Brown's intuition and painstaking work, key details of the boat's shape would never have been recorded to allow the team to create a digital model.
All the wood had gone, except leaving little bits of black dust showing where wood had been, but all the rivets were still in position. The iron rivets which held the planks together were laid out in a line. And because it had been so skillfully excavated by Basil Brown, as soon as he got the first rivet, he recognised it as a ship rivet. So he said, don't move, just keep everything exactly in. Imagine the shape of the boat, you'll take this earth out, and then use this pastry brush, and then brush until it goes red, and then you get the just leave it. And so thanks to him, we have all the rivets laid out.
That's a great piece of archaeology, isn't it? Because you imagine even now people finding 1 or 2 rivets. I've got one bringing up.
I know, you're right. And it was a stroke of genius. And he did produce the boat, produced the whole rise of the boat, and produced the very chamber in the middle.
Basil Brown's incredible discovery would open a door to the shipwrights and craftsmen of the 7th century. And all the breathtakingly beautiful gold and garnet riches which stole the limelight would be lifted quickly and taken back to the British Museum for safekeeping. Not long after this great treasure was revealed, Britain was at war, and the Sutton ship had to be hastily covered up again. There was still a lot left to discover. Angela Keriebels has also been a strong advocate of the reconstruction project. In 1967, she was part of a team from the British Museum, headed by Rupert Bruce Mitford, who went back to re-excavate the ship and all its rivets. Can you remember much about first seeing the site, your first day?
Gosh, yes. There are two things that I remember so clearly. One was the sheer scale of it, because until you see this ship in front of you, it's like, wow, you have no idea how it is. And the other thing was the colour, because of course the sun is yellow, but it was breathtaking. That's the only way I can describe it. It's actually bloodthirsty. It's amazing.
Looking back on that day, what did you find that was so significant?
The recovery of all the rivets, and then the subsequent examination of the rivets, because before that one hadn't really thought about the evidence that the rivets could give us. But it's not like lumps of iron, but when you clean them back, there's a huge amount of information on them. I cleaned all the imposition rivets, and then they were all actually recorded on a set of cards like this.
What did the rivets tell you about the way the ship was put together?
Well, the great thing about the rivets is that they give you the thickness of the planks at the straight overlaps, which is roughly about a thumb joint. And you can find that in the wood grain on the actual rivet. So that will give you the thickness of the plank, but only at the overlap.
It was real detective work, wasn't it?
It was very forensic, yeah. Certainly when I started college, I never thought that sort of information would come out. The structural details of the ship mostly come from the rivets. It's ironic, these ugly iron things should give you all the information you need.
So the position of the rivets was pretty key.
When the Science Museum recorded the ship, they recorded the lines of the rivets, they surveyed them all in. And so that gave one the lines on which the subsequent plans were drawn up.
Are you excited about the reconstruction of the ship?
Oh yes, I'm wildly excited. I mean, for me, it's a combination of an ambition that I've had ever since I worked on the rivets since back in the day. But on the other hand, for me, it also adds a layer of responsibility, because a lot of that information that's going into that ship is based on what I wrote on the rivets, and so I'm keeping my fingers crossed as well.
What's clear from all the diaries, photos and plans created from the archaeology is that the rivets are literally the linchpin to the characterisation of the ship. Back in the long shed, Tim and first shipwright Laurie are experimenting with prototype rivets on the full-scale midsection model. This is designed as a research tool for the team to try out techniques before using them on the real thing.
So these are our final prototype nails, and these combined form the nails that keep the ship's planks held together. So we're going to drive the nail through the planking, put the rove on, cut the excess off, and then clean the nail, spread the nail over the rove, and that's what secures the ship together, hopefully. That's it, that's gone in. Now these rows are slightly too large for the nails, so we're going to have some slight adjustment made in the production batches. Just another 3,598 to go.
Once the prototype rivet is approved by Tim, it's down to Alex Cole in Dorset to produce the full 4,500 of them required for the job. We've come to see how both the rivets and the rows they attach to are made.
We've been given the specifications by the ship's company, the Sutton Company, and from the British Museum. Traditionally, smiths would have taken large lumps of wrought iron and then hammered them down into longer, thinner pieces, and then made their rivets from that. We live in the 21st century. We've been supplied with stock that is already rolled. So yes, we're sort of halfway there, but also there's several other processes we need to go through to get to a proper rivet. Mostly this is scrap wrought iron that's reforged and re-rolled. They take it from old ship's anchor chains. It might be old railings.
So some of the ribbons used in the submarine ship could have been recycled.
Yeah, I think it could. Yeah, it could have been. Yes.
With instructions from Alex, Derek gets a chance to make his own rivet for the ship.
So you can see we've got 2 gas burners. It's mixing with oxygen, and then it's increasing the temperature. So it's a nice, clean, consistent fire.
How's that one looking? Is that
That one looks good. Yeah, it's nice and clean. One of the issues we have with using raw time is it tends to split. So that's why we need to get that really, really hot temperature of the air.
these little mushroomy cracks?
Yeah, they're tiny little cracks. We are going to reforge this, so some of the cracks will come out and we'll tidy it up a little bit. But that happens irregardless of whether you're using a hammer or a press. It's just the nature of the material. We'll put that in there, over the crucible hole. And then bring it out, tap it on the... Perfect. Awesome. There you go. Brilliant. Yeah, that's great. Perfect.
It's so soft, isn't it?
Yeah. Incredibly soft material. There's the head, you've got the shaft of the rivet, it's nice and straight. And then you've got very, very slight taper on the end. That just helps drive it through the timber. And also, it's a little bit easier to put the robe over the end. Here we go, Derek. I've just polished the head of the rivet. A really nice colour, get the initial on it. That's fine, we've finished with it for the ship. This is a finished robe. We've had a laser bar. So traditionally you would have a long bar and you would slice it up. This is how we made all the original samples. They were all forged from scratch. And then you would punch a hole through the middle and it would produce this really interesting shape.
Yeah. Using a laser cutting is very much the modern using the traditional.
This is a much more cost-effective way to produce, in principle, the same result en masse, but using traditional techniques.
How come the diamond shape? Surely a square or circular feels much more functional.
I think a square would be easier to make. It would use less material, and from the archaeology, the roads were all lined up. So this not only is very functional, very practical. This is an essential part of the process. It's also decorative.
Oh, well, so essentially they're making a style choice there.
It's a style choice, and it's a feature of the Sutton Hoo ship. And I think this is part of their indication that this was a very, prestigious build. It was built for someone of importance, certainly, because this would take a lot more time to produce, more time to fit, and also has that beautiful decorative aspect.
And this decorative richness and dating of the burial has always begged the question, who was in the ship? From the fact that you are an Anglo-Saxon specialist, who was our chap?
Well, Radwold is the most famous East Anglian king, but he's not the only East Anglian king. There's powerful kings before him, and there's very interesting kings after him. The problem with putting Radwold into Round 1, it's a tempting thing to do, because he's the most famous king. Here we have this marvellous intact ship burial. Put the two together, Bob's your uncle. But actually, it was in Round 2, which has also got a great big ship in it, but it was robbed several times, probably. If it hadn't been robbed, if that had survived to be looked at, we would have had two competing grand ship burials. So you need two famous dead kings. This has always been my problem with giving Round 1 to Radwold. Why should he not be in Round 2 and then be in Round 1? There is a moment in the 630s where two kings die at the same time, and that I would suggest might be an alternative theory. And sometimes people act as if Sutton Hoo is fully understood And that makes me very surprised, because we might know a lot about it, but it is certainly not done and dusted. It has a lot more to tell us, and it's still full of mysteries.
Whether this warrior king was Radward or not, his final resting place of a ship littered with treasures must have been intended to express a greatness that has now become legendary. It's essential that the team refer back to the archaeology to make it as authentic as possible. And one of the ways they can do this is through the tools they use.
Big moral question. Are you going to use the kind of tools which you imagine that they would have used when they were first making these boats, or are you going to use Black & Decker?
The important part of the experiment to see what it's like using the kind of tools that Anglo-Saxons would use in the centre. And we did have some excavated tools. The tools are much the same as they are now, with carpenters and joiners. In other words, you have an axe, you have a trimmer, you have hammers, you have spoon bits, things like that. So those things were all legit for remaking the kind of tools that we make on the ship.
There are certainly a variety of tools being used in the long shed, some more familiar than others.
Well, this is a standard viewing axe. Double bevel, straight handle. This is side axe, right-handed side. They're used for a right-hander. Single bevel.
Now, I don't know if this is modern or not, but it certainly looks it, as that one and that one. But this, Richard, you don't find these nowadays, do you?
No, not commonly, but they're actually based on a design seen in the Bayeux tapestry.
Really, what is it?
Well, it's a finishing axe, which is used to get a slightly finer finish on all the surfaces that we are hacking away at to produce a plank or whatever.
We shouldn't have.
And this is used to produce a finer finish.
And the rule is that the hand tools that you use are like the ones that they used in Saxon times.
Yeah, and you've seen the main tools here. There's one other that gets used. Actually, one here which is called a draw knife. And it's called a draw knife for the reason that you pull it towards you. So if you wanted to just smooth this finish up here, that's sort of plane. And these are used at the moment for making oils.
Yeah, and you've got to do it, haven't you? You're making something to be as authentic as you can, so you've got to use the authentic tools.
Yeah, and it's very satisfying being able to use Anglo-Saxon tools for a project such as this.
The ship's company rely on the wide skill base of more than 100 project volunteers and over 30 craftsmen and women to help with the building. They come from all over the world and have been instrumental in getting the long shed buzzing with activity.
So we've got aeronautical engineers, we've got nuclear power station engineers, we've got all sorts of various different skills that people have brought to the project. And then we've actually taught them the techniques to build ship. Very few shipbuilders.
Then provide in the Navy, but that was on a ballistic submarine, so we would dive in one place and 3 months later come back up in that same place.
The scale of it's quite amazing. This is probably one of the biggest wooden boats I've worked on.
So my official title is True Right, and that stems from the Anglo-Saxon word for woodworker or trailwitter. My background is more in using axes, green wood and timber framing rather than a boat builder.
No, the biggest thing I make is furniture, and this is basically a big piece of furniture to make.
As wood is the main ingredient of the ship, getting hold of it is one of the major occupations and focal points in the long shed. But it isn't just any wood. The team need large, freshly felled oak trees for the huge lengths of the ship, and lots of them.
In my previous career, if I wanted some wood, we go to the local timber yard where they had everything that we wanted. Here, because we wanted trees as green as possible, we had to go to the field. And that was another of our volunteers, Richard Symes, who said, I'll give you a tree from my farm.
I was staggered at the specification of the timber. They want very particular trees. They want the very best, straight, knot-free, large oak trees, which are rare now. And to my surprise and delight, other farmers and landowners have said, yes, we'll donate a tree. That log that they're working on behind you came from 4 miles away, just down the road.
Do you think the original shipwrights saw a bunch of trees and thought, right, that's how long the ship is going to be? Or do you think they'd worked out the length before that and then went looking for the trees which would be appropriate, which is what you did?
Well, as far as we know, actually drawn plans didn't come into about 14th or 15th century. And so this would have all been done from the shipwrights' experience and their art. And in fact, we've experienced that as well. There was a tree almost in the shape of a question mark. And I just had to take a guess and base it on my experience that that could be the shape that we needed for the extension of the pier. And when we got it back and we put a plywood pattern on it, lo and behold, it's almost fitting perfect.
And it's Tim's expert eye that has been identifying the best timber for the project. It took over 18 months to find the perfect straight tree for the pier.
That's a lot quicker than some I've seen come down. It is pretty straight, isn't it?
Our first job was to find a pier, and that was brilliantly done by the shipwright. We knew what it would be like. We knew that at 27 metres long, there wasn't going to be a single tree, especially not curving in the way it needs to curve. And so it was worked out that there were 5 bits to this pier.
The keel forms the flat base at the centre of the backbone. Attached to either end of the keel are the underlouts, which extend it and begin to curve upwards. The stem and the stern post are then attached to the underlouts and rise upwards to form the ends of the ship. Tree nails then secure each of the sections together. It's a complex process to make the ship watertight. The holes where the tree nails secure the wood in place could leak if not drilled correctly to fit them. Research based on the Needham ship showed that the tree nails needed the head on the inside of the keel to avoid wear and tear.
The more this wears away, the more likely this tree nail is to come out of its location. Whereas if you put it the other way around, you've got a wedge in here for about 2 inches.
Evidence from the original archaeology revealed that the ship had a shallow keel, meaning that it could be pulled easily onto land without damage. Perfect for travelling to its final resting place. A couple of months on from the first nailing, and it's nearing Christmas. The volunteers are busy working on the backbone of the ship. Despite the cold, there's also festive activity happening on the River Deben. Built back in 1993, the Say Wilfing is a half-length reconstruction, an eighth of the size of the Sutton Hoo ship. For the past few months, she's been the focus of the ship's company's water trials, introducing volunteers to a rather unique style of rowing. Jack Barnard is the company's project manager and oversees all the organisation, fundraising and rowing-based research in the Longshed.
I oversee over 140 volunteers, all doing an amazing job. For me, this whole sense of community and people pulling together and really wanting to be part of it is what is absolutely unique.
One of her main priorities is understanding how the Sutton Hoo ship would have moved on water. She started to put a Saxon rowing squad of around 120 rowers together, and Time Team's Helen Geek is first in line.
Is it possible for somebody of my physique, fitness and age to become one of these rowers? Because it just sounds so exciting. You know, I started rowing in my early 40s, so I haven't done it my whole life. We need people that understand the discipline of rowing. We need people to be able to follow the right instructions and do the right things at the right time. The weight of the oars is just incredible. We're not 100% sure that we've quite got this design right yet. There's an argument that they should be half a metre longer than this. Through the testing phase, we will have to keep putting oars and people in boats to find out what the inboard and the outboard measurements are. So that's the pivot. So this is the oar, the point at which the oar will go into the fold and be pivoted through the water.
We've got an extremely exciting month ahead. This June, Time Team is excavating at Sutton Hoo. The first excavations there in over 30 years. We're working in partnership with the National Trust for a special dig investigating Garden Field, a little known area of the site. We'll also be test pitting in the landscape, shedding light on the wide of Sutton Hoo. Throughout the month, Time Team will present a range of exclusive coverage, opening and closing with 2 live shows right here on YouTube.
My friend maybe comes to the house tomorrow.
Treated to additional dig watch coverage.
Does he want to borrow my backpack?
£60 live streams direct from the site, Q&As with the team, 3D models and much more. You really don't want to miss this, so make sure that you subscribe to this channel and consider joining us over on Patreon to catch all the action as it unfolds.
After plenty of Christmas revelry, the new year gets off to a messy start. Alec is preparing the caulking on the stem underlayout section.
The thing is, when you use things like axes and chisels, there's always small tool marks and things, which is why we use caulking. And this essentially seals the joint. And you can use lots of different things for caulking, from animal hair, fabric, wood shavings, sort of plant fibre material, all sorts of things. What we'll do is based on what was found in the Needham ship, so which is a mixture of wool fabric and pine tar and fat.
The time's come to put the final backbone sections together.
So we've been using 2 engine hoists. It's a little bit of a delicate operation because there's quite a lot of weight there, and we've got to obviously be careful we don't squash anyone. When we get it in position, we'll then have to build supports so then we can take away the big sort of gallows-shaped structure behind. We just call it the gallows because it's like a big set of gallows.
With the stem in place, the ship now extends its full 88-foot length. And from above, the outline becomes much clearer. Martin has come to the long shed to see the latest developments. At the stern end of the ship, he and Helen explore how the strakes will be added to the backbone.
So what are we looking at here? This is the underlayout.
This is the top of the underlayout. It's been hollowed out. And so that effect means that the edges of the top of the underlayout, they're coming up to us at the angle that eventually the planks will come up.
Oh, so this is almost like the bottom of the first, the top of the first plank.
Yeah,
It makes a tiny little stud.
Yes, so it's joining this solid piece of rope.
So you can get your rivets in through there, out through there, with your, rather in through there, out through there, with your rope and hammer it flat.
Hollowing the underlayout allows the nail rivet angle to remain parallel to the plank land, neatly fastening the rove on the inside. This means that it can lay flat against the timber, creating maximum strength as a fastened rivet. But Tim has some disastrous news. There's a problem further along the underlayout's length, and it's looking like a major setback.
So what's happened here?
Well, in any tree, you've got the very central part of it, the pith. We found when we hollowed this out, after we'd set it all up, that we've actually run into the pith of the tree, which isn't good. we can actually see daylight through there. So there is a full split through there. This has probably been cut a year now, this tree, and it's still drying out. So this is going to grow. So we've got to take a choice of either to repair it, either in a traditional way or a modern way, or to replace it. So it's a piece of timber 15 feet long, and I think it's about 2 foot 6, 750 mil diameter, something like that, the log.
The discovery that we need to pull out the top of the undergrowth has revealed that. So they wouldn't have known that was going to happen.
Is there any chance you can just sneak in the new underground?
The problem with clinker boat building is because the planks overlap, we'd have to get this piece out. If it was all planks, we'd have to get this piece out. We'd probably have to take this plank out and the next plank. It becomes a major job then. So it's much more effective to take a decision now before the planks are on.
When do you have to make the decision? How long have you got?
By Friday afternoon, probably. Not quite as quick as that, but it's imminent.
This is terrible news. It's taken over 400 hours to create the underlayout section, and if it has to be replaced, the whole project will be set back by months.
Layers of crispy wafer and chopped cream coated in caramelized plastic.
Fights bacterial plaque for 12 hours non-stop. Colgate Total Plaque Release.
It takes an agonising 2 weeks for the team to come up with a decision.
Have you decided what to do?
I think it's worth saying that it wasn't easy. You know, we had quite a difficult fortnight trying to make our minds up. And then it was swung this way and swung around. Shall we repair? Shall we return?
The first thing to do really was to take a slot out where the defect was, and actually look how deep it went and what angle it took. And basically the defect is more or less gone from the bottom of the trough. Up here it's a bit different because it goes right through to the other side of the plank lands there. And this part actually is detached. The modern boat builder in me says, trust the materials, the epoxy resins will mend it, and we'll save ourselves the 400 hours and the grief of looking for another tree that will make that work. And as a Saxon shipwright, I have to think of it in a totally different way. As an archaeologist, I would say, yeah, that reasoning is right. And yeah, swayed me. So in the end, we had a vote, didn't we? And the only real way to solve the issue is to replace the piece of timber. Yes, I will try and find a tree of a larger diameter.
After all the hours of work that have gone into the underlayout, Laurie takes it quite hard.
Gutting really that we're going to have to replace it, but it would be a much better decision to do it now than later on.
Now the ship is taking up the full length of the long shed, storage space is limited and wood management's causing problems.
Yeah, this section of log here, it was in obviously one long length. We had to cut it into 3 sections to be able to move it and also get it into the long shed.
And as the ship progresses, more wood is needed. Tim takes the midship model templates into the forest. He needs to find the right trees suitable for the frames, planking, and to replace the faulty underlayout. He's spending a great deal of time in a lot of forests staring at trees.
It's a nice tree that is, you know.
It's autumn 2022. 1 year on since the first tree nail went in. The National Trust Lippling Estate, 2 of their ancient oaks matched Tim's specifications for planking and have been felled by Forester Gary. Tim's come to measure up.
I think that's one of the biggest ones in here.
Right,
That is a
well,
one.
we're looking at pieces 4 and 5 and 6 metres long. So rather take an 8 metre length and waste 2 metres. Do it in 2 fours.
2 fours.
And then we've got the widest bits for the middle part of the ship. And it eases it then for you to
Yeah,
get
okay.
it out. The grain wanders off just a little bit in places, but I think we can get around that. Apart from that, it's a beautiful tree. So yeah, please, 2 4-metre lengths.
2 4 metres.
Thank you. Right, we better get marking. Just can't get over really what a beautiful tree this is and how fortunate we are to have it. This end, the bark, the fissures in the bark really are dead straight around the tree. There should be no twist in it whatsoever. As we get up to here in this section, it does begin to dive off just a little bit down there. So in this quarter of the tree, we're going to have to be careful that it cleaves true. But it should be all right.
Sadly, one of the trees shows just how easy it is not to see the imperfections before it's felled.
This is a really clear example of how you can't tell what a tree's like till you actually see the inside of it. This looks beautiful all the way up, it's dead straight. But as soon as you fell it, you can see all of this area here is rotten. So it's had rot tracking up the roots, and it's really soft. And you've got these white spores on it as well. And it's absolute rubbish. So if it goes 2.5 metres, I've still got a 4.5 metre log potentially, which is a good long length of timber for planking. So all is not lost at the moment.
Tim starts earmarking some of the larger tree branches for the more curved parts of the ship's frame, but without much success.
There's nowhere near enough curve within to make that curve even from. So we'll have to go look for another tree. And this is going to be, I think, probably more difficult than finding the planking for the ship. Actually finding timber for the frames is going to be the most difficult thing. And I reckon I'll be spending most of the next year in woodland like this, looking for new trees that are being cut down, not for the beautiful straight trunks, but for curved bends.
Over the summer of 2022, a timber was located in the Woodland Trust's Hainault forest and work progressed in replacing the old split underland. Finally, it's ready for the team to test whether all the effort has been worth it.
We'll need to actually physically lift the moulds up, because again, the new underlayout is deeper, so we've got to allow for printers. If you try and put it in on an angle, it won't go in because it'll be too long. It's got to go in square to the centre line of the ship. But once we've got the holes drilled, then we can fit those 2 P-nails to secure that in. So it's been quite a job to make that. The volunteers have done a fantastic job. There's about 430 hours to turn the curved round log into this piece. It's a lot of work. And woman hours.
We just need to go towards the front of the boat, the bow of the boat. Right.
As the underlayout slides in, everyone's on tenterhooks.
All the screws are all still tight up that end. So I think we need to take all the screws out.
So that looks straight now?
Yeah, it looks really good.
After a final push, the replacement underlayout settles into place. But it does reveal how much shrinkage has already happened.
As it's thinner, it's actually dried quicker and pulled down at the sides.
Yeah, when you put the screws on, then you can...
There's a lot of dip there, isn't there? So there's what, 1/4 inch? Yeah, probably. So we can either leave it and see how it dries, or we could put a batten along there, clamp the two together and force this to go down to match that. But it's amazing how much it's shrinks because it's so much deeper in the middle, isn't
That's
it?
right. This side's almost perfect.
The business of the shrinkage really intrigues me. Do you build everything 10% bigger because you know it's all going to shrink at about that rate? Or do you have to put different shrinkage factors into different parts because you know there'll be different stresses on that?
We know that the plans are slightly oversized in terms of the cross section, and so as it shrinks, that should bring it down to the right size.
Am I right in thinking that Oxford University came in order to measure the shrinkage for you?
Yeah, we've taken about 8,000 individual images of the ship, and you see the index marks on the boat, and they can put all that data into the computer. In the end, it produces a digital composite of the whole ship, which we can measure almost to millimetre accuracy. So we can actually tell how we started building it, how accurate we were, how much it shrunk. And then if we do it again once it's in the water, we can see how much it swells up. And I'm not sure that's ever been done in a reconstruction yet.
With the position of the underlayout finalised, the freshly made tree nails are put in their newly drilled holes.
All right, yeah, good going, yeah. No, of course not. That's gone really well. We had a little bit of a problem there because we didn't wedge the stern post far enough out of the way once we've got the corking on.
We took it out again, rearranged it all, knocked the stern post back up a bit further to give ourselves more room, and then second time it worked out really well, so we're chuffed with that.
We've got to let it season a bit. We can't really nail up to it in its green condition. So I don't think we'll be nailing onto that until after Christmas, possibly as late as Easter.
I am holding US stocks. Any passive income ideas? You can earn interest on stocks you own. Now the replacement underlayout is secure, focus can turn to the large amount of planking that needs to be created. And in the long shed, nothing goes to waste.
So the chickens will go onto local parks to recover those, and then big bits like this will then whittle down and make wedges.
Over in another part of the long shed, Jack has been trying out the prototype oars, which were modelled on the Needham ship. She's seeing how they work in the midship model's oar holders and tholes, which are based on a photograph, an imprint, and some food.
What I'm finding is where this oar, given the weight of it, is sitting on this shear stroke here, it's not sitting at the back of this way, the bit where you would actually pivot it. So I'm actually putting on the shear stroke and not where I would expect it, which would be here.
The pole is correct, and the oar is too small in diameter where it crosses the gunwale.
So if we can build a prototype as much around here, we think that will sit in the back of this way and hopefully give a lot more stability to the oars. We still have quite a lot of research to do, what I would like next spring, and we've got 2 or 3 prototype oars to actually get this put into the lagoon and see what it feels like.
Detailed study of the 1939 excavation photographs have enabled the ship's company to recreate features like the tholes for the oars. But it's only relatively recently that the 2 women who took them have been given the credit they deserved.
The remarkable thing was the extraordinary coincidence with 2 schoolmistresses in Suffolk, Miss Lack and Miss Wagstaff, who were looking for material to do their photographic diploma, if you like. And Miss Lack took several hundred photographs with her Leica camera of every detail of the ship. She put scales in, and all the details of the ship, the photographic details of the ship in 1939 are down to Lack and Wagstaff. It's quite amazing. And that's where a lot of the information in reconstruction comes from.
Excavation of Mount 1 in the 1960s was designed to re-evaluate and answer as many questions about the ship as possible. Why? You'd had this massive dig in the late 30s. And it seems almost as though you were doing the whole dig again.
Well, yes, it was a bit like that, but there were always questions about the ship that hadn't been answered.
which Rupert's difficult could only be answered by excavation.
Did it have a rounded stern was one question. Then there was, did it have a sail? And various other questions about its construction.
So the purpose of the dig wasn't necessarily to preserve it was to answer questions that hadn't been answered first time round, or maybe had been answered
Absolutely,
wrongly.
absolutely. It was a question-based archaeological excavation, and some questions were answered, and of course some questions still remain unanswered.
Although it seems pretty clear that the ship would have been rowed, there's still some debate that it may also have had a sail.
The question about whether it moved under oars or sail is a very, very important question, and one that's given us exercise in some question. So the Sutton ship itself didn't produce any oars, so nobody found any oars. But there were patterns in the side of the trench. There was no doubt that it was rowed, but there was no mast, so there was no evidence of it sailing.
But you are going to say that, aren't you, even though there was no evidence of a mast?
Well, we are. It's always a balance between authenticity and experiment, because authenticity means that you're starting from something you know, and experiment means you're going to something you don't know, otherwise you wouldn't do the experiment. Is it likely that this boat sailed? Yes, it is. Why is it likely? It's likely because all around the island of Britain, in the Iron Age and Roman period, there are sailing boats. In fact, the sailing boats everywhere except in the North Sea, which is where we've been looking. So you say, well, there are no sailing boats in the North Sea until the Vikings, so why even think you've got a sail?
And Martin had already had experience sailing reconstructions when, in 1989, he joined the crew on the replica Viking Useberg ship in Norway. Although that didn't quite go to plan.
We had a research question, as you always do. Our question was, this boat sailed? Very definitely it was. So, if it did sail, could it tack? If it could tack, then a small crew could take a large amount of cargo in the right direction. If it couldn't, then you need lots of oars. So it was quite an important question, I think. We did our rowing and then we put the sail up. When we put the sail up, this ship took off like a leaf being thrown across a pond. I mean, shoo, like that. So we had to keep pulling to get it up, and then we got the sail up and we were racing along. So it's like bash, 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 like aquaplaning. So a very thrilling ride. And then we decided to see whether we could tack and had one or two goes at it. And every time we did, because it's got a kit, not a big one, ship tipped over like that and water came in through the oar ports. And it mostly flowed out again, but of course underneath they had oars ballast, and so the water was actually, of course, lower and lower in the water, which we couldn't see. So eventually the inevitable happened, another attempt to tack the whole boat and just bent over and capsized. It was like a lorry going into a sand trap, you know, it sort of stopped. And then I was on the side by that time, and some people were in the water, and I thought, I'll stay on this side. You know, it's really just fun to float. It took about 30 seconds, and it was really up to the bottom. Lots of ropes turning around. So it was, yes, it was quite an adventure.
It's early morning at the beginning of December, and some of the recently felled trees are on their way to Sutton from the Bootley estate.
I managed to just about squeeze this on the trailer, if you like. I got it on the trailer.
Sorry, it's got that one. This one, this one, and the one up with part of.
Once they're seasoned, they'll eventually be made into planks by the volunteers.
If I'm right, they're about 250 years old, and so they're beginning to go over their best now. Nice. They should keep us busy for a while.
So we some of the biggest trees and tried to clean
Not
it.
leave any like this yet.
No.
The hydraulics make it easy. They can sit there now till probably Easter. Now we've just got to load the other one and go to the long shift tomorrow.
Next day, things are getting mildly festive as the remainder of the oaks arrive at the long shed.
So this is the lower half of the big log from Blickling Hall. To get us down to the first stages of the planking, first we had to split it in half. That's the most difficult because obviously we've got two big halves of log there, each weigh about 3 tons. Then we split it into quarters and begins to a bit more quickly then because the pieces are more manageable in size. The aim is that we put 2 pieces of planking on the ship each week next year. So there's, in theory, 8 weeks of planking work here.
The midships model has been an invaluable training tool, helping the team learn how to construct some of the main components of the ship. They also have a much smaller model built to 2 different sets of lines that has enabled the team to figure out the complexities of the twist, bevel and widths of the planking.
This is our 1/5 scale model, and originally we were going to use this to take the dimensions to translate to the full size. So we would build this at 1/5, multiply everything by 5, take the correct bevel angles, and that would enable us then to transfer it to the ship. The 1939 excavation and the photographs and the 1975 publication suggested that these 2 narrow planks were here for a specific reason, which could have been to do with getting the required twist in the ends of the ship. So the line goes from nearly horizontal here to close to vertical here. It's about a 70-degree twist. So to induce twist and bend into the plank is actually very difficult to do.
It seems that the wider the plank, the harder it is to twist. This has put the digital drawing which the team were working to under scrutiny.
So we've decided now that we will build a full-size ship to this set of lines. This model gives us the opportunity to experiment with that.
It's the 21st of December, but before they pause for Christmas, Tim's keen to pick up the pace of the planking. They've already lost months of work making a replacement underland. Laurie and Tim are preparing the gargoyle straits, which are the first rows of planking that sit opposite each other either side of the keel. To make up time, planking had to start higher up the stem rather than as a series of straights from the base because of the gap left by the split underland.
This is the first piece of the garden straight, and it's been clamped in place for about the last 5 or 6 months now. So it's actually setting the twist that we want. And we're just now going to just adjust slightly the bevel we've got on the bottom edge of it so that it clears all the rebates in the keel.
This has got to be one of the oldest tools we've got working on the boat, I think. This draw knife. It's got 1918 stamped on it.
My brother-in-law is a bee farmer in Wales, and we asked him for some beeswax, and he gave us 15 kilos, which was possibly rather more than we wanted. But we've given that to the ship project, and it's going to be used in caulking experiments, which is really exciting.
While the gargoyle straight's being put in place, Laurie makes up a festive Christmas concoction using some of Helen's family beeswax.
There's about 250 grams of animal fat, 100 grams of stock on tart, and about 13 grams of beeswax.
Is that just for something for Christmas?
No.
It's such a horrible turkey. Well, you get an interesting glaze.
Put hands on it.
Make sure he's on it. Jack, stop. That's no good. Road split on this side. Oh, let's see that. What happened there? Pulled the head off that now? No. Well, just from me cutting it. This hole must be deep. probably everything that could go wrong did go wrong. We managed to pull the head off one of the nails, which was a very big surprise, and we need to go and see what caused that. It's going to be very interesting making sure we get consistent technique and a consistent level of tension in the nails. And I think we're going to find that as the ship dries, as we build her, we will have to go back again and just check that these nails are all still in tension when she goes in the water.
It's always a bit nerve-wracking. It's just nice to get a plank on, fixed on the boat, and feel like we're getting somewhere now.
We've got another 8 pieces of planking ready to nail up, but alongside that we've got to cleave the next log so that we can begin to make the next group of 10 planks to go into the ship. So the new year is going to be a very busy period. But we've started, and that makes a really good end to the year.
It's spring 2023, 4 years since the build began. The ship's company have been hard at work in the longshed. They've come a long way from the bleak days surrounding the cracked underlaut, and planking is well underway.
We can begin to see here how the ship will look when she's fully planked. We've now got 3 strakes on the starboard side. We're ready to put the 3rd strake on the port side, and then that's the 3rd of the planking. So you can see how the nails are all beginning to line up, and it's that really shows the artistry of the ship.
And as they progress, more details emerging in the wood.
So the medullary rays, these lighter shaded patterns in the planking, they're indicative of the radially cleaved nature of the timber. So you will always see these in this type of construction, and it really is beautiful.
The longshed's also got some fresh volunteers in the shape of the 23rd Parachute Engineer Regiment.
It's a real bonus to have them here, and hopefully we'll have more of the guys come down as they're available. We're getting ready now to start putting the framing of the ship. It won't be for another 3 or 4 months that we do that, but we need the space, and if we rough out the frames, we know at least that we've got them there, and it's beneficial to us to have some fit, strong, young men rather than all those pensioners.
After 3 months of waiting, the decision has come to start hollowing out the inside of the new stern underlaut.
We put a moisture meter on this yesterday, and at the edges it's down to 18%, so it's dried considerably. If we don't hollow out the inside of the underlaut now, we'll catch up to ourselves with the planking and get stuck, and the sequence won't work. So we need to get the planks on here on the garboard, so that we can continue planking with the other strakes higher up the ship, as we've done in the bow.
With work speeding up, project manager Jack has turned her focus to the fundraisers.
We're pretty close to Rivet 2000 going in.
Because people have sponsored these rivets, now they've gone in, we're in a position to email them and tell them where their rivet is. There's 3 more going on. The next one's gone will be this one, so that's stroke 2, and it's the port side. This is a unique identifier, so we'll know which tree this came from and which section of the tree as it was cleaved it came from. If there's any damage to this plank because it rocks or fractures, we can go back to our record, and we don't think that's really been done before in archaeological reconstructions.
3 months on, there's been no time for haircuts. The trees felled in autumn are finally dried out enough to cleave, and everyone's come to help.
No, that's coming off there, look, it's already gone there.
What's your head then?
I'm going in.
Like a
the next few months, the team have been pondering what wood would best suit the oars.
The ash oars that we made, as they dried, they became very flexible, quite wicked, and that's not good for an oar. It needs to be stiff. So it probably means that the cross section that we used, which is based on the new dam ship, was too slender. So what we're doing is experimenting by increasing the diameter of the oars and using a softwood, which should be a lot lighter than oak or ash, just to see what happens really.
After many, many hours of work, the last plank of the garboard straight is finally going on.
This is one of the most difficult planking to fit, really, because you're not only fitting it into a rebate, but you're trying to fit it hard against the main backbone of the boat, and that will just bridge that gap and hold everything nicely together.
This is our first visit of 2024. We thought we'd devour their hair for a while. Look at these. Don't you just love a nice tree trunk? Wonder how many planks they're going to be able to get out of that. Anyway, of course, it's still smooth from here. Let's see how they do get on. It's been a while since we were here. A few big changes.
Yeah, we've managed to get quite a bit of the planking on, particularly in the ends of the ship. So we've now got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is straight 5. So it's, once we get to this stage, that's when we can start putting the frames in, the bottom part of the frame. The frames we started to make, last time I think you saw some of the army engineers were here, and we started feeding those logs, and now we've made some of those frames that go in the bottom of the ship, and they are now ready to go when we've got the 5 straights of planking on.
The rivets look beautiful, don't they?
They do. From the archaeological photographs and the plans, they're at very regular intervals, and it just so happens that they seem to be about handbreadth apart. So they put one in, move the hand, that sort of size.
Do you think that there was an aesthetic element in it as well as just being practical?
In all of these ships, throughout the 1,000-year period, they're all beautifully in line. But particularly it's noticeable in this ship that they all line up.
So what lies ahead in the next few months?
The next few months the framing can begin to go in. It gives stiffness to the ship, and then we put the upper planking on, and then we finish the framing. That's what is believed to be the order that it went in.
And at least the troublesome piece of wood has its uses. What have we got here then?
Well, this is the offending item, the original underlaps. It's now a display piece for the public, so we can tell them the story.
How many hours do you reckon you lost?
Oh, we lost 6 months probably, total. Yeah.
That must have hurt.
Well, it's gone now. We've got the problem.
Hi Tula, kamusta ka Tula? Nagsampay pa ako Tula. Tapos, after nito, relax na. Sikat ng paa ko. 2 hours yata ako dun. Almost 2 hours, 1.5 hours na play. Ganyan. Palagi ang aking ginagawa dito. Kasi meron naman kayong sweldo. Charot. Nagawa mo dyan ngayon kaya. Ano yung ano? Kaya nangyari kay Dino? Parang, iba kasi ng post na parang something happened. No? Sa kanya. Tapos, tinanong ko siya, hindi lang niya ang sagot ko ng straight. Sabi niya, pwede mo na yung, pwede mo ako mababasa mo yung buong detalye sa Google at mababasa mo doon sa Sunstar. Sunstar, yun yung balita sa balita sa sige. Parang media page. Ay, nangyari. Tapos napanggit niya, namatay daw yung matanda. Ay, nangyari. Hindi ko mag-gets. Tapos meron siyang something. Sabi doon. Ano daw? Na-achieve kasi ako. Parang something, may words doon na parang bawang. Ano, pahamak siya doon sa bahay. Sa mga barkada, mahilig sa ganyan. Parang niya pag labas na ng barko, kaya ito naman, ito yung favorite ko na damit. O, diba, gisi-gisi na. Connect na. Nagiging dress na siya instead of, half lang siya. Nagiging dress na. Minsan talaga, meron tayong favorite damit. Sa buong buhay natin. Meron naman party na ganda, napagbahay. Alam mo pa rin kawalan ng ganda. Kasi parang nagwalat na siya at nagkakabot na nagwalat sa puso na siya. Meron ba kayo na? Pwede mo ba kayo na? Parinig ko sa rin na. Ano lang bilang na kayo ko na kayo ng Keriebels. Pero nagkakaroon ng isa ka. Sinaman ko na kayo. Hindi na ako naman mag-isa. Parang ang lahat ng nakakabara. Parang natin mag-usap sa Yan, sabay natin. Yeah. It's not. Kurung-kurung. Tignan mo yung ano ko, nagbibig ako kanina pala. Tignan mo paano tayo. Tapos, sige na. Did you flip? I want to see in the back. Yeah, try daw. Sige ba? This one. I want to try how it looks like in the back. Careful. Is it Hello Kitty or Hello Kitty or oh, looks like Hello Kitty. Oh. This is my Hello Kitty. What is that mean? Flat.
Don't use that one if you want to look like
Yeah, I need no. I just pure one. Sige na, try na. Or flip back. Ha? What's a fish? Picture lang. O, diba?
Jonathan says the best way to make sure you're getting a legit bat is by buying from a certified dealer. But despite the risk of fakes, Jonathan says business is and demand
Tapos,
quickly expands.
to get in my... Hindi siya na forma. Hi, Pingo. Lang. Hi. Otso na bigis. Sige, try. Try, Jude, try. Hello, Kitty. I will flip back again.
Right now, people buy a lot of bats online, which is like
That's not there is only one rainbow.
even though the brands try to promise a certain type of quality.
There are two ways to judge a bat: kickoff and key. Kickoff is the feeling in your hands and getting a sense of the weight.
You see, I'm constantly using my wrist and my forearm. So if a bat is too heavy or unbalanced, it just tires you out.
And then there's the ping test. The sound that Jonathan is listening for, that most cricket fans know well.
Good, you hit it off the sweet spot. sound and you hear it and you know you hit the best part of that. That's my sweet spot. That's why it's called the sweet spot.
So perhaps more than anything, cricket players look at aesthetics.
What makes a good bat, a higher grade English roll bat, is the cleanliness of it. There's no stains, it's just the lines are straight, especially in the sweet spot, so where the thickness of the bat is. You want the grain to be as clean as possible in that area.
But while these tightly grained, closely English willow bats might be the most coveted by the pros, the trees that make these bats are soon be in short supply. See, according to Jeremy, quality trees are becoming rarer since they're growing faster in increasingly warm temperatures.
We get a longer growing season, that's growing right up until probably November now, so growing more, so growing wider grain.
But he says wider grain bats aren't necessarily worse. They might just require a bit more use before they're on the same level of play.
You ask a player, they'll say, yes, narrow grain one is more better. We've had best stuff with that, they just making bats with wider grain. The thing is, it's all in the player's head. Some people always want the best, don't they? Like motor cars, and the Rolls Royce, and you've got your flaws, you know.
Is Jewel from 2019.
The grid clearing for round 7 of the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship here at Snelston. Josh Cook and Aidan Moffat. Agents.
My name is Sid Ponce.
You want more viewings or kind
We're
of
back
just
on the 1936 Harley Davidson 2024 Wheels Through Time raffle. Like as you guys can see,
because I cut in the
a ton of
middle
work
one.
has gone into the motorcycle
Okay, just
so
sit
far.
right
When you
there.
guys
I will
caught up with us
I
last time, we were bolting the transmission in, bolting that engine in, a grandfather cornerstone of the American motorcycle, 1936 Harley Davidson knucklehead engine, rebuilt by hand by me right here at Wheels Through Time Museum. This thing is ready to go. Transmission 1936, 1 year only. This stuff laid into this frame so nicely. Keep in mind, this was a whole motorcycle that was together, and we took it back apart, decided to restore the bike again, especially for our annual raffle. So 36 knuckle motor dropped in. They only made about 1,600 of these engines, guys. 1000 cc, single cam, overhead valve, the new high compression setup in 36. And it would change the direction of the motorcycle altogether. The 4-speed transmission's all laid in just perfectly.
Ayan, magtupi muna tayo ng mga dapat tupiin. Aray, nakahagbong. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Ayan guys. So, ayan na. Hello, 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 hello. So, ayan. Tupi tayo man ng mga natuyo na damit. Kailangan natin tupiin. Tapos, ihahang ko yung legs ko after kasi ang sakit-sakit. Sakit siya kasi tumayo ako doon ng ilang oras. Saka bago ako ng malansya, tumayo na rin ako ng ilang oras kasi nagluto ako ng sinigang na pork. Tapos, nagluto ako ng ano pa yung niluto ko? Lemon cake. Ayun, nagluto ako ng lemon cake. Ayun, natikman na yung lemon cake ko. Masarap siya. So, normal ko siya doon sa Hello Kitty sana. Kaya nilagyan ko siya ng parchment paper. So, hindi siya nagporma na Hello Kitty. Nawala yung nawala yung tenga ni Hello Kitty. So, next time, paggawa ko nun, hindi ko siya lagyan ng parchment paper. Para maporma siya ni Hello Kitty. Diba? Then, excuse me. Umulan dito, makulimlim, tapos maulan, gano'n. Parang hindi naman siya tuyo. Parang hindi pa naman siya tuyo. Babaho ito pag tinupi ko siya. Na hindi pa matuyo-tuyo. So, ayan na. Thank you Tala. Thank you. Tapos na ako at palubat na yung phone ko na ginamit. So, aking legs. Okay that one?
Nice.
Oh. Nice daw, sabi. Sabi na amo ko, nice. Oh, diba? Sarap daw, masarap.
So, some general settings here
Sabi
for
niya,
these carburetors.
nice
It's
daw.
a place to start. It's not a rule of thumb that that's where they're going to stay, but it's a good place to start. 3.5 rotations out on the low speed.
This is my
1.25
lemon cake.
to 1.5 on the high speed. We get this thing fired up, and we'll tune it in from there. All right, float adjustment. I know you guys have heard us harp on this over and over. Float adjustment right at 1/4 inch between the top of that float, right here, 1/4 inch, top of the float to the top of the bowl, and I'm happy with where it's sitting. Does it hold the seal? Holds the seal.
Yeah.
So we should be set. That is a rebuilt Linker carburetor with the exact same way that I did it when I was 14 years old.
Sarap. Oh, diba?
Oh, it all fits so good. A lot to work around in here. So, all right. Okay. Now is the fun part. Let's cut some cable. And we can get this bike to where we can
Yummy.
twist the throttle and spark and make some motor noises.
I like that. Ito ang likod pa.
Push. Uh-oh.
Where is my...
Throttle.
Kasi mo inumin
You
ito.
got a push and a pull. That would have. Hope I have another one of these. Well, looks like we're gonna have to bring out the bandsaw. Shorten these bad boys up. And you know what? These may even be nickel plated. And if they're nickel plated, that's cool.
Binutasan sa
But we're
gitna.
gonna have to do both of them
O, diba?
instead of just one of them. So.
Binutasan si Hello Kitty sa gitna.
Oh yeah, that's pretty, man. It feels so nice. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way.
I want to eat corn.
Here.
Nagtataka ako, baby. Sak. Buhay pa. Nabagsak yung phone ko. Buhay pa.
I'm gonna cut those off real quick. This part is so critical because you get too much back and forth play, and that's where slopping your throttle comes from. So you want this to spin with the absolute least amount of back and forth as you can, but at the same time you want no resistance because you want that throttle to spin easy, and it's feeling like it's gonna be about perfect. Oh, see, and what I mean there, just a few thousandths of an inch back and forth. It's the little things, you know. You go too heavy on this cut right here, all of a sudden you're back and forth a ton there, and you gotta twist your throttle an eighth of a turn before your throttle cable even starts.
I will hang up my legs. Sakit ng legs ko. Excuse me. Wah! Grabe. Dito mo na kumakang ang aking legs. While mag-charge ng phone. O diba? Mag-charge ako ng phone. So, ihahang ko muna ang aking legs. Anong gawin mo dyan pala? Ay. Ihahang natin kay sakit kaayo ko. Tinendog. Teng. Teng, 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 teng. O, diba? Teng. Tung, 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 tararang, alimango sa dagat. Malaki at masarap. Mga alas 5 na pala. Ay, tula. Ano? Ano na to? Mga 120 minutes. I-off ko siya. Hoy. Yes, madam. Hapon na naman. Kaya nga tila. Sakit ng legs ko kaya hinang ko muna. Gabi ka ko pala. Kaya nga, kala ko ano pa? Kala ko nasa alas 2, ganun. Hapon na pala, hindi ko na malayan yung oras na busy ako. Ang dami kong ginagawa today, kaya ang sakit ng legs ko, kakatayo. Nagluto ako ng sinigang, ulam ko sa tanghali hanggang next day na yun. Tapos, nag-bake ako ng lemon cake, yung kinain ko ngayon, yun. Tapos, after nung nag-bake ako, nag-half bath ako, tapos nag-iron. Ayan, kakatapos lang. Oo, busy. Na-busy yung ano. So, once a week lang naman ako mamalansya. Once a week lang. Sakit pala ng likod pag nakatayo ka lagi, no? Sakit ng likod ko, ang hapdi. Busy ang buhay. Oo. Ayun, kakabay ka. Ayun, nag-slice ako doon, hindi ko naubos. Nilagay ko lang sa mesa. Kasi ang sakit ng legs ko talaga. Ihahang ko muna siya. Kakatayo ko kasi yun ng ilang oras. Ilang oras akong tumayo, nagluto, nag-bake, namalansya. Bukas wala naman akong gagawin, so relax na. Tapos na ako namalansya. Tapos naglaba, nagsampay na ako. Exercise mo rin para. Kaya nga, exercise. Exercise natin ang ating mga buto-buto. Laylay yung paa ko. So, yung hita ko ang laylay ba? Sakit. Bala, di bali. Pag-uwi ko ng Pinas, pamasas ako. Hindi naman bawal. Sumakit lang talaga siya. Saka sakit ng legs ko, ganyan. Wala namang bawal, hindi pa naman ako nakapag wala naman akong naramdaman na yun lang, masakit na siya pag nakatayo ng tagal. Sakit. Lola Keriebels. Sakit ng likod. Siyempre, pag ganyan ka, masakit. Pag nag-iron, sakit siya. Sakit yung likod mo, paa mo, ganun. Dito lang naman ako nag-iron. Pag-uwi ko ng Pinas, walang iron. Mga damit, mag-iron lang pag pupunta ng may puntahan na party or something, saka lang mag-iron. Pero pag wala nang iron sa army. Oy, di naman halata. Di halata, oy, lula na, oy. 40 na ako sa Desembre. Oo. Napapagod lang. Napapagod lang tala. Saka baka yung sleeper mo matigas. Hindi naman siya matigas. Ano lang.
Matigas.
Yung mga rubber lang siya. Yung pangbahay ko na pangbahay ko na ginagamit. Ayun. Pero basta hindi gusot ko yun na correct. Bakit kaya pag nasa tayo sa lugar natin, Basta suot lang sa tapos, hindi kasi uso doon yung hindi kasi uso doon yung paglaba tapos i-plansya agad. Naku, hindi uso doon sa amin. Mga tamad yung mga pamangkin ko. Wala. Dito kasi yung mga every time na agray, suot na tusok na ako. Nung maglalaba ako, basta yung mga panglawas na damit, ayun, pablansyahin ko talaga siya diretso. Yan, yung mga pambahay lang ang hindi kasi sayang ang kuryente. Pahinga mo lang yan sabi. Kaya nga, yan, gagawin ko na siyang 120 minutes para maging 2 hours. Tingnan mo naman yung paa ko dyan. Nakahang. Tareng. Nagpa-plansya naman pero hindi mo naman kailangan magpulot. Correct. Mga t-shirt lang at saka yung pambahay. Correct. Totoo yan tala. Sa mga opisina lang. Tusok ko yung ko. Mata ko. Yan. Kasi mangalay yung legs mo pag nakatayo ka ng anong oras ka ayun, gawin ko siyang 2 oras. Lang nakalagay dito yung minuto na 113 minutes ganun. Di ba 120 yung 2 oras ganun. Lights na yan. Cellphone kasi ginamit ko. Diretso ako pero palakad siya, hindi siya yung horizontal. Pwede na kasing vertical doon. Pindutin mo lang yung vertical pag hala ka, may paotot dito. Naririnig ko. Saan bastos palaotot kalatag doon nangutot napagid sa nawang nako dapat nangutot kani nangutot ang robot kani sa akin sakto gawin mo di ba 2 hours yung tula. Bau man, oy. 2 hours yung tula na yung 120. Ganon. Wait lang. Naamoy. Kakaloka may dito. Banat, madam. Banat cintaan ito la. Banat cintaan kay. Grabe ang dilim dito tula. Parang parang gabi na. Parang gabi na siya. Yun, nag-charge na yung fans ko. 16, 29, 20, 30, 31. Ayan. So, parang ibang buhay talaga sa talagay sa piligang buhay hinahinamay na tumatapos silang sa may hawasang ikaw lang daw ang kasultis. Kaya nga tula totoo yan Chu 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 chu. Madilim na dito, madilim na. Ayan, malapit na yan once for 4 na minuto na lang. Umulan na din pala dyan tula. Talaga. Lakas ng ulan dyan. Ito madilim na eh. Kasi umulan tapos uminit lang kanina saglit tapos umulan ulit ganyan. Nag-charge ako ng phone ko dito. Dito. Ito lang siya. Tudududud. Diba? Grabe. Ang lamig na tapos lakas pa ng aircon. Kanina sa bukid din namin umulan daw, sabi ng pamangkin ko kanina. Tapos at least nakapagtanim na sila ng gulay ng pamangkin ko ng kapatid ko. Nagulay-gulay na sila doon. Tanim na sila ng mais, gulay at mais. Pag uwi ko, punta ko din sa bukid. Doon ako magtatambay-tambay na ilang araw. Tapos mananim kami doon ng mga gulay, mga kung ano-anong mga kakainin para hindi magugutom. Tsaka may ulam sa paligid. Ganun. Gusto ko yung mga ganun. Tanim dito, tanim doon. Tanim dito, tanim doon. Nice kaayo. Kaya nga ito lang, maganda yung kailang mga pamangkin ko mga tamad. As in, pag meron ng yung iba mga tamad. Tapos, gusto ko, nakakawalang gana, bigyan mo ng mga reward kasi mga tamad. Hindi sila nasanay sa yung laking bukid ba or basta yung lang, magulang na nila yung inano doon sa pangbubukid. Sila nasa bahay lang, ganyan. Kunyari, nagbabantay ng pero madami naman sila. Yung magulang na nila ang nasa bukid, sila nasa bahay lang, ganyan. Walang gana. Kaya pag uwi ko, wala na akong mga paslubong. Wala na yung mga ganun. Wala na yung mga bili na lang ako ng pagkain. Makakain pa ang lahat, diba? Yun na lang. Parang minsan kasi nakakadismaya din yung iba. Nakakadismaya din yung palagi mo silang tinutulungan, binibigyan. Tapos, ayun. Hindi naman sila nagtsatsaga, ng bakasyon sana, pero wala. Hindi tumutulong sa kanilang magulang. Tapos yung mga pamangkin kong iba nagpunta doon sa lugar ng mga auntie nilang iba para hindi sila mautusan doon sa bukid namin. Ganun. Kaya nga tulad, diba? Walang gana. Walang gana tulungan. Kaya nga tula, hindi na ako ng mga ganan. Hayaan ko na yun. Hayaan ko na sila. Kasi nasasanay sila. Yun. Pag hindi naman sila binibigyan or wala namang mag-iiba na yung pagtingin nila sa iyo, yung parang hindi ka na, parang yung iba na yung attention, iba na yung para basta at diba? Ang dilim na paligid. Kasi, nag-charge ako dito sa loob. Anong ginagawa mo dyan, Tula? Malapit ko na itong maraming salamat sa iyo, Tula. Ano ko to lagi para madagdagan naman natin yung ano natin. Kasi kawawa na yung mga loob nitong ano natin, whitey, wala nang laman. Wala na talagang laman. True. Yun, naranasan ko na yung mga ganun. Kahit kapamilya mo talaga, kahit ano, kahit pamangkin mo pa yan, mga kapatid mo pa yan, pag parang pakiramdam nila na hindi mo na sila inano ng bongga, parang iba na yung pagtingin. Basta mahirap siyang i-explain. Gusto kong maganyan sa gusto kong magpunti ng ganyan, chika sa personal. Tapos ikot. Pag nasanay sila, kasalanan mo pag tumigil, wala. Kaya nga, totoo talaga yan. Ganyan, pag nasanay sila, kaya pag inano mo na, pag tinigil mo, parang feeling mo mag-isa ka na lang kasi nawala na sila. Parang mga kaibigan din, ganyan. Naranasan ko yan, kilala mo yung iba. Grabe ako tumulong, tapos pag parang feeling mo lagi mo na silang inayawan, wala na, nag-iba na ng ihip ng hangin. Sige, Tula, bukas ulit chika-chika tayo bukas. Salamat. Ingat ka na, madaming ganun. Totoo yan, Tula, madami. Ingat ka dyan, Tula, bye-bye. Yan, tapos ito itong wow, 9 million people in the world. Ang pingpog ka dira, Tula. Sana makita tayo sa basta hindi lang natin yan ba, malay mo, Amping, pagaling ka, pahinga ka kasi mag ka na sa Lunes. Babush. Shush. Ay, siya yan.